Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is James and you're watching Wonderful World. So yes, as the title says, a catastrophe happened. A disaster, really. While I was making my last video where I showed you all the frogs in one video, I was filming in here and my camera on the tripod was somehow tipped over and it hammered hard right into the bottom of the vivarium for my tiger-legged monkey tree frogs. The sound it made was horrific, so I knew it was going to be bad. All the water in the false bottom was leaking everywhere and I was just beside myself. It was really something that was beyond repairing, so all I could do was just suck it up and make something new for them. This wasn't something I had planned for. For one thing, I just spent a bunch of money on a new snake and building its enclosure. And I love building vivariums, but ordinarily I like to take my time and plan a design and let the vivarium cycle for a while. But I really don't have much choice right now. But I am going to use this as an opportunity to try out a little experiment that I've been thinking about for a while. And you'll see the results of that at the end of the video. So I went out and got another one of these Exoterra Frogs & Co. terrariums specifically designed for frogs and other high humidity species and got to work. This terrarium is an 18-inch cube, which is just a little bit smaller than what basil and parsley are used to, but it's plenty of room for these two small frogs. One of the things I really like about this particular terrarium is that it comes with a hole pre-drilled in the bottom of the terrarium and a bulkhead that you can install to drain the bottom of the vivarium. So the first thing I did was lay out a couple of pieces of bark and decided where I wanted those to go before putting down a layer of spray foam and pressing the bark into it. And you can see that I left a section in the middle blank, and that has to do with that little experiment that I talked about earlier. And that should make sense later when this vivarium is finished. So next, after the spray foam had completely cured, I carved that to shape. And then I covered every bit of exposed spray foam with a layer of silicone and spread that around with the tip of my finger so it got in all the nooks and crannies. And then I covered all of that with substrate and pressed the substrate into the silicone. So this is what the finished background looks like, and I'm really happy with it. It's exactly what I was going for, which is to look like the trunk of a tree with a big knot hole leading inside of it. So it's now time to add the plants. So I'm putting in one of my favorite species of pothos, and it's called Baltic Blue. And for another vining plant, I've added a Philodendron scandens. And these frogs will really appreciate this piece of spider wood for them to climb on. And I'm also adding a few small water dishes. And for plants in the foreground, I've added a Fittonia franki and a black velvet alocasia. And I finished off the plants by covering everything with a layer of moss. So I told you that I had a special effect that I've been thinking about for quite some time now, and it's something I've never seen in a vivarium before. And what I did was hide a Bluetooth controlled puck light behind the hole I had left in the background, so it would look like the inside of this tree trunk was lit up by some mysterious light. The camera isn't picking it up as well as I had hoped and doesn't do it justice, because even though it's a little bit of a gimmick, standing in the room with the lights out, the effect it creates looks amazing. So I think it's time now to look at the completed vivarium and introduce the frogs to their new home.